Do you guys blow dry your buttholes? Am I the only one?
No, I've done before. I have a recollection of doing it. I do use deodorant though. Spray
On your
the whole crack, bro. The whole crack. Especially when I'm running.
I Dyson. I like the Dyson Supersonic. Holy shit,
dude. The Dyson hairdryer is fucking game changing, bro. It is the best thing.
I've got a suit of hair, and I get after the towel. I gotta go full dry.
There you go, man.
The Dyson on the fiddly.
I like it. Wait, how about you? How do you manicure your asshole?
Welcome to Motherfunkler, Funkler 50. Greetings to all our fellow Funklers.
Funkler 50.
Funkler 50,
50 of them, bro.
Ooh.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Please share our links with your tribe. Send us your reviews, comments, and questions. They are greatly appreciated. To my right, the Prince of Misery, Niklaus Sadul. And to my left, with unshakable positivity, DJ, the never-ending story.
I like that.
As always, the Wizard of Ed and the intuitively intuitive muse. I'm excited for today. It's 5-0.
Absolutely.
It's pretty awesome. Let's go ahead and get it started with that shot, boys.
Yeah.
Cheers.
PR was mentioning that this is a lethal combo.
Here's to 50 more, you guys.
Cheers, Nick.
You guys ready to
Cheers,
fucking
Trev.
rage, man? It's almost a year.
50.
Oh my. What a girthy undertaking.
So girthy. Oh, I love it, girthy.
I've certainly got to know you guys so much better now. I know exactly how Nick thinks.
Yeah?
Which is not
What am I thinking right now?
Which is not a compliment, but it's a very good understanding of your perspectives on most issues.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the good part of it. Trevor, over the last 50 episodes, has so evolved. It's almost like
100%.
I don't know. You have evolved in the most incredible way.
Tell me more about myself.
Not negative or positive.
So I will note to our listeners that our 50th show will not be us sucking each other's dicks the whole time.
Okay.
But I mean, go ahead, PR.
No, I
suck
think
away.
So here's the thing: is that you started off having a certain persona, and somewhere along the line, I think towards the end of last year, I'd say probably around episode 35, 40, you changed.
Well,
and
if we're going to do this thing, as far as I imagine, which is a pretty large scope, a little level of seriousness in entertainment is important, correct?
Correct. But that wasn't who you were when we started. It was all entertainment. Now it's become like very serious. And I would hate to say this, but Nick's become the entertainer here, which is awful.
You become? Bro, I'm fucking Trivia Nick, man.
I know you Trivia Nick.
Nothing but a good time.
But the misery of life, entertainment.
No, I started the show, and I still maintain that my philosophy, if you think about it the right way, it's not it's recognizing how terrible everything is so that you can enjoy the moments that aren't terrible. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Looking around at how miserable existence just is. But you have to embrace that. You have to understand that that it is that fucking terrible. Then you start finding joy in stupid little moments.
Yeah. And I mean that's an interesting take, because my take is, as you know, 180 degrees on that.
Yeah.
Which is mine is to
eat, pray, love.
Is to see the joy in everything. In things that are very challenging. So I'm going through a significant challenge, which I won't disclose.
I don't think you can give us a build-up like that and not deliver.
No, I'm just saying that there are challenges in life. And a friend of ours sent me a text message the other day, and I responded that I'm using that challenge. I'm embracing that challenge because I believe that challenge will make me stronger.
Is it hemorrhoids?
I could see that close.
It's about that age.
I could see that as being negative and seeing the world punishing me, or trying to find an alternate escape. But I'm choosing to face that head on.
Well, there's the first flaw, at least from my philosophy, is by saying the world's not punishing you. The world is completely fucking indifferent to you. Like, there is no cosmic force fucking saying you do well, so I'll take care of you. And when you embrace that and you just realize that you had no choice, you were born, your only other choice to get out is to fucking kill yourself, which is not really a choice. So you just embrace the fact, you understand that this terrible shit is going to constantly happen. And then you just, the moments that aren't that terrible, you kind of find joy in.
So, interesting. I agree, but I want to expand my perspective on. I agree with you on something.
Expand my mind, baby.
I think that the universe is indifferent, but you can psychologically concentrate on positive or negative, and then that's what resonates through your memory.
Mm-hmm. I agree with that.
Which is dabbling a little bit in magic, but I think that PR's perspective on this would be like, let's focus on all the positivity because he wants to
my mind is always
delusional to a certain
the
extent.
difference that I have is that he goes into his day. What I'm saying is the difference is he goes into his day thinking, oh, it's going to be a great day for me. And he thinks that positivity is going to have some sort of effect on his day. And if it gets him fired up, more power to him. I just think it's delusional.
So here's the example, right? I had a friend that him and I worked together. We would travel to many destinations around the world, and we would go to a hotel,
and then strip clubs.
I would almost always, because I'm not gonna perceive the room allocation when we check in at hotels, for example. It's not a make or break for me, right? So I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna get whatever room they allocate to me, right? In his mind, he's gonna get the worst room in that hotel.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you know what happens? He's almost always disappointed with his room allocation, right? And I almost always get a better room than him.
It doesn't make any.
Now,
I don't know what.
All I'm saying is that it is the way you perceive it. Because if he didn't complain, about the fact that he got an awful room, I would never know that. And nothing would, there was no consequence.
He'd still have to fucking lay in the filth of a terrible room.
Yeah, but we were staying in really good hotels, so it was never that. But so here's my question to you guys: are you superstitious at all on anything? On anything?
I'm not superstitious. I'm just a little stitious, I'd say.
You little stitious?
No, I'm not superstitious at all in any way, shape, or form.
Right, Trevor, you?
Yeah, I thought about this for a little bit. Yes and no. It's not. I think your example to I'm stealing your thunder on this. Your example to me was like, if you're watching a game and they're winning, you stay put. If they're starting to lose, you move. Is that?
So I would also agree with you that I'm not overtly superstitious.
I don't do that shit, but I do things. What I'm thinking is it's not necessary. I don't identify it with superstition. I do things, though, with the idea of success is where preparation meets opportunity, which I think people can misperceive as superstition. But I set up everything so that I'm ready to go. I'm trying to think of a good workflows, work processes, spreadsheets, morning supplements, clothing. My clothing is laid out.
Yeah, an easy thing would be a runner sets like a runner, because the runs early in the morning, would have their shoes, the two socks, the shorts, the shirt ready. But that's preparation.
But no, then it is preparation. But then I start getting so nitpicky that I am placing socks in very specific areas, and if they're out of place, it starts to, in a bad way, superstitiously fuck with my day.
You have mentioned the drumming as well. You have said if you have a good practice session.
That's
That's superstitious.
Good practice session, bad gig.
Yeah.
Bad practice session, good gig. That's But I don't. If I'm watching a sports game, I don't turn my hat on backwards. Like, I think that's full force superstition.
So I have
crap.
something but it's not superstition, but along the lines of what you're saying, where you get nitpicky of the position. Like, if I sit down, I like my shit on the bar, like my wallet, my phone, to be in a shape, but
Yeah.
that's not superstition. It's because it literally makes my brain scream less.
I think
about
that's
my surroundings.
on the cusp of turning into superstition.
Oh, yeah?
So would you say then, let's play it out to its full, is that in the event that the wallet and the key is actually not in the way it should be, if then you have some obvious things that have happened during the course of your day that haven't gone the way you feel, you don't look back and say, damn, it was because the keys in the wallet went there.
No, it's an aesthetic. It's like it just makes my brain feel more like better about the area. And I'm very much into that. Like when I walk into a room, I want all the doors closed. I want the fucking windows open the right way, because when I walk into that room, it feels a certain way. And when that shit's off, it's like not as good. So why would I want to be as good as possible?
I'm superstitious. I have a good example. Depending on how I cook my scrambled eggs in the morning, depends on how my day is going to go.
But
this actually
it qualifies as a superstition.
No.
Bro.
Hear me out on this.
It does.
Wow. This is nitpicky. Hear me out, and I can analyze this, and I don't think it's
unless
necessarily
it influences your bowel movements in some way.
No. So here's the deal: if my eggs come out perfect, no bubbles, flat, little gooey on the inside, I sit and observe that moment and how I feel, and I'm like, this is going to be a great day because I'm calm. I took the time to make the eggs perfect. If they come out bubbly and all fucked up and dry, I'm like, shit, I'm in a rush. I need to breathe and slow down and calm my energy.
I don't think that's a superstition. I think that is you taking self-reflection.
Okay.
And it's a symptom that you've noticed of your own anxiety and what you're going through right at that moment. I don't think that's superstition. What I think of superstition is what you said, or like having a rabbit's foot on your keychain and being like, man, I really hope I win the lottery, and you're rubbing this rabbit's foot and hoping for, the luck god to bless you.
So I'm not superstitious in that way, but what I do think about, though.
Yes, you are. You think that the superstition deity, the entity, is going to care when your soccer team starts fucking losing that you don't fucking move.
No, it's just my own
who
way.
is it? Who is doing this superstitious act? Who has the hammer?
So here's the thing with the superstition. Nobody knows about it. I know.
Well, now all of our listeners know about it.
And then what I do know is that when I've tried it a few times, if I wear a certain T-shirt and a certain running pants when I'm watching my football games, when my team is playing.
Are they clean?
Right? Always. But we tend to just win. And when for some reason I don't get an opportunity to actually change when I get home and I'm wearing something else, my mind says, okay, we're going to test the superstition. And then what happens is we lose.
And that's what I just said. You think that there's some deity, some force at play that you're answering to.
No. It's just a game. It's a game that I play with myself in terms of what I'm. You
should always play with yourself.
Yeah. When I played tennis, I had to have my racket. I had to have the racket held in a certain way. The grip relative to where the branding was on the grip. Mm-hmm. It had to be in a certain position, because if it wasn't there, and when I look at it, when I lost the point, I would look. Oh yes, okay. So it's that kind of thing, but it's not terribly serious, but it does mess with my mind. What I'm saying is that, I would look later in the day when things haven't gone the way I wanted to. I would look back at that moment that started my day. So I would like to think of myself as somebody that doesn't like routine. I've always said to myself, I like kind of a little chaotic day.
Oh, not me, dude.
So I think I like that, right?
Fucking morning, I need the routine, baby.
But exactly. I like a morning that is very down to what time I get up, what I do at each moment of the day. If you mess with that, I think it messes my day up.
But that's not superstition. That's not answering to a deity.
No, exactly. But what happens when I don't have that routine the way I'd like it to be? I would have in my mind, if something happens during the course of the day that messes with me, I would blame it on my... the fact that I messed up my routine.
That's neuroses. That's not, that's neurotic behavior.
But interestingly, what I do like, though, in the week is I always like to make sure that I have something that is spontaneous. So I do like
planned spontaneity.
unplanned.
Ain't
No,
nothing like planned spontaneous behavior.
maybe
dude.
planned, unplanned, whatever. But so
You're like, you know what I like to do is every Wednesday at 1:15 p.m. just shock the system. It's something out of
it's
left
not that.
field.
It's not that. So on a Sunday, for
Maybe
example,
I'll use a pencil instead of a pen.
on a Sunday, for example, I'd like to know that I have something that an opportunity for something exciting in my week. Otherwise, I'm gonna hate this week. So I'm already thinking on a Sunday. I normally do it on a Sunday. What have I got that's gonna make my week worthwhile? I don't know what it is.
So today's Sunday. What do you have?
What do you got
have
this
come
week?
up
I
with?
don't know. That's what I'm saying. I want there to be something.
I got all kinds of shit. Man.
I'm
fucking living the dream right now. To be honest with you, like we go out all the time. It's fucking rad. I got shit to look forward to.
So-
I got shit I have to turn down.
So here's the thing: is that what I enjoyed so much about last week is right at the end, I got a call, right, from some friends to say, let's go to Imperial, which I'll talk about later. But it was Friday afternoon, and it was off I went, and I was like, wow, that was a great week last week, right? But if I didn't do that, then I may have felt that was a pretty routine, awful week. And so I like the routine, but I like something that happens that's
Just
out of the ordinary.
a little spontaneous in the middle of it.
Like staying up past midnight,
Getting crazy. Maybe having a glass of white.
drinking
I
a
did have a glass
Coca-Cola.
of white.
Nerd, see?
I did have a glass
I
of white.
could have told you, man.
Spanish white. I was being very adventurous.
Oh, wow.
On Friday.
Wow. Oh,
So I think
Jesus.
that superstition can be tied back in an interesting way. Have you seen these random bit generators around the world? So it's a machine that generates binary, and I'm tying this back into superstition and potentially sports. So it's like flipping a coin. It's typically 50-50 on these generators, but they're measuring it with collective consciousness, where before and or during an event, these things spike in a positive way. So like Christmas, there's a measurable spike around the world with these binary generators. There was a spike right before 9/11 in a negative way. So I think to a certain extent with superstition, not necessarily just PR with his underwear inside out, walking counterclockwise around his coffee table when his team's losing, but I think if you have enough people that are rallying for team, I mean, shit, in any of the 80s movies we watched, basketball, football teams losing, fans, like Rudy,
Do you think
fans start.
collective brain power is manipulating binary receptors around the world?
I do.
All right.
And I think that superstition can play into that. If people are putting on their rally caps and yelling for a team, the team can feel that energy on a field or on a court, and then the end results of the game can change.
I think in sport, it is certainly, there's some people that feed off that positive energy. I know there are tennis players that actually can sometimes feed off the negative energy. When like the whole stadium is against them, they just get to play better and better. But I do know that there's, my English Premier League football team, for example, if anyone goes there, they know they need to be prepared.
Well, that's
for
So that's a human being. That's a human brain through their life experiences, taking in what's going on around them and then making it an output. What he's saying is that a fucking machine is picking up on the aura of people. That's ridiculous.
it's not aura. We actually
whatever it
generate electrical fields.
Yeah, I mean, what I would say to that, probably I've never read it, but what I would guess for that study would be that there are a lot of positive and negative events also that don't have a spike. And confirmation bias would lead us to pay attention to the spikes that happen.
There was a point
In front of big
a lot of
events.
episodes ago that you said we each had our catchphrases, and your new catchphrase is confirmation bias.
Have I said that more than once?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, confirmation bias is a very important thing. It's evident in what most people do with their lives. It's huge in what I do every day, and it's something as trying to be a better person, I always try to actively avoid in myself. So, yeah, I don't doubt that I've said it. I just don't recall. Yeah, I'll accept it. And that's not just me having confirmation bias about it either. I'll accept you guys stating it.
Well, on that note, do you guys blow dry your buttholes? Am I the only one?
No, I've done before. I have a recollection of doing it. I do use deodorant though, spray
On your
the whole crack,
cornhole?
bro. The whole
Oh.
crack. Especially when I'm running.
I Dyson. I like the Dyson Supersonic. Holy shit,
dude! The Dyson hairdryer is fucking game changing, bro. It is the best thing.
I've got a suit of hair, and I get after the towel. I gotta go full dry.
There you
and
go, man.
The Dyson on the fiddly bits.
I like it. Wait, how about you? How do you manicure your asshole? PR?
I absolutely just towel dry. There is no.
Oh man, you're
I
gonna
Yeah,
get-
but I see him like a cartoon
No,
where
you're
he's
gonna
got
be-
one hand in front, one hand in back doing the floss.
So here's the thing is that here's what I would never do though, because as you guys know, and is that I'm a regular at the gym, and there are communal hair dryers at the gym, and there are a number of men that are using those communal hair dryers.
Oh, you got to take your own.
I mean, to
Yeah.
dry their asses off. It is something that's done.
Oh, so I'm
Um,
not the I've
no,
never seen
no,
anybody get
no.
blow dry the
Yeah, but you do the
cornhole.
cold button, right?
No,
Or do you like it hot?
I do. So I'm so I'm so nitpicky with everything. Everything gets dried hot, and then I hit the cold button and cool
All right,
everything down.
all right.
No,
Nice,
so
warm,
I have
toasty
never done
butthole.
it. I find that to be just.
That means you have fucking swamp ass all day long, man.
Never.
Yeah.
Never.
The bacteria is already growing.
I think there's certain. So when I look at the gym, because I go in as I normally have a workout, and for me a workout is how wet am I. So I normally like to be completely like drenched.
I mean, according to you, you're not the only one who's wet running around these gyms. All these chicks fucking hitting on you, bro.
But when I go in, I go to the change room, and I don't shower in the gym though. I go home again, but I change. So I take my all my wet stuff off, dry myself down, put some dry stuff down, and then go home. And so I'm there for probably 3 to 5 minutes, and I just kind of have a look around. And very politely though, no, very politically sensitive.
He's like,
Very politically sensitive.
what you doing down there, bro?
And I'm all I'm doing is I'm judging, which is an awful thing to do, right? And I'm judging everyone that's there, right? And then I look at these guys hair drying their asses. I mean, and their ball hairs or whatever they have.
That means you're breathing that air in, man.
I mean, it's just awful.
Taking in molecules, funk.
I'm judging them not because they're doing that, but because they're using a communal dryer. Because there are guys that are drying their hair with it on their head.
well, the air goes one
I
direction.
mean, the air. Yeah, that's yeah.
No, I just think the hygiene levels there are just they're off the scale. And then there are others that use baby powder, to try and extra dry themselves. I must say that I have never found the need, because you do raise an important point there. Because if I was finding that I was wet, after my shower and an hour in the office or whatever, then I would kind of want to be more dry than I am. But I must say that I don't have any perspiration or any wetness or moisture at all. Anyway,
I mean, I got some baby powder in the bathroom for when it's necessary. We're almost in that time of year where it's about to be fucking brutal outside.
yeah. So maybe that my sweat glands are not, obvious in those areas.
There it is. He's evolved to a higher level of human where he doesn't have sweat glands around his butthole.
No, exactly. But under my arms, I know I do. So I take extra precaution there. I do know, and you've noticed on more than one occasion, my forehead perspires. So the moment when something has irritated me, I almost try never to show any emotion on most things, but I have a trigger that's built into me, and that is a forehead that gets wet. So I'm trying to be.
I think we can tell when you're upset, bro.
Yes.
Like
the forehead goes wet, and my dad was exactly the same. I knew when I triggered something because his forehead would go wet during a conversation.
Trevor's like, I know when Trevor's upset because he tells you to go fuck yourself.
Really?
There's no hiding it. Yeah, you don't hide any emotion. You tell somebody when they're fucking pissing you off. I think. I've noticed.
I don't think I've said go fuck yourself.
No, that's a euphemism.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be fun to explore an example, but I had an interesting experience at the butcher shop the other day.
What happened?
I went in to go buy filet, and early in the morning after the gym, just kind of cruising, and the butcher says, "Can I help you?" And I was still looking at what I wanted to pick out, and I said, "Give me a sec." And while he was standing there, I said, "So how's your day going?" Let me back up. He goes, "Can I help you?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm looking for a big filet, but not too expensive." And he says, "Take your time," or whatever.
Yeah.
And I go, "So how's your day going?" And he said, "I've been doing my best to manage people's expectations pertaining to rising meat costs in an inflated economy."
Wow.
And I stood there and I was like, "What?"
Should have asked him to be the guest on this fucking
So,
podcast.
yeah.
That is fucking legit.
I want to know. I want to know if he was fucking with me. If it was like a premeditated answer. Like if he had it ready to go to
He
fuck
probably
with
had
people.
for people who ask questions similar to what you had ready to go, but that was at you, bro.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Like, that is the type of shit.
I want to say, what the fuck are you doing behind this
counter?
counter?
Yeah.
Like,
I can say that in the 100,000 times that I've gone to a deli or a meat counter, I have never asked the guy on the other side of the counter, "How's your day going?"
I've been doing that lately. I do it
too.
I read a post that said creating small talk can open doors.
Plus, I mean, what I've been trying to do actively, and I've been doing this for years, I've very actively tried to not talk about myself. I want the other person talking. And so I practice that with like strangers where I'm like, "Tell me about you, man. What's going on?" They're like, "What do you do?" I'm like, "I don't know. I'm a trivia host, but that doesn't matter. Let's talk about you." Because it's
But
fucking
who would be
boring.
that? An Uber driver? Would that be the guy behind the butcher?
Well, I mean, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Butchers, Uber drivers, people sitting at the bar. I was at Tangeray's last night partying, and I struck up a conversation with the dude next to me. And come to find out, he's a pain management doctor that I've sent work to. I fucking didn't even know. And it was me listening to him talk before I said anything about myself. And then you put a little thing in about yourself that you try to be modest with your thing, but it shouldn't be to brag. It should be to help direct the conversation in certain areas.
I only talk in certain situations that require. I go there for social interaction. So if I'm in a bar, for example, when I go to Fiddler's,
I do want to be clear before we shift off this. I'm not good at it. I'm not trying. It's pointed out to me a lot that what I'm preaching right now, I am not that good at it.
You're working
but I
on
am
it. Yeah.
trying.
Yeah.
So here's the thing: is that I'm awful at that. Right? As a rule of thumb, I know that I'm really bad at it, and I think my facial expression is "Don't talk to me." However,
You're out of your fucking mind.
Which is why your Uber drivers always talk to
what
you.
I
Even
think
though
is-
you
There you
have
go.
silence.
I was just going to say that, right?
What I think you are is like when you start to, and I've been trying to pin it down now for 50 episodes. But what it is it's like when I ask you something and you start to explain even the most intimate of stories about yourself, it's like I'm listening to a self-help audiobook talk. It's
Okay.
like the language you
good.
use, like, and you use little cliche fucking kickers where you're like, I always try to control my own emotions, and the only way you can ever tell that I'm upset is I get one single bead of sweat on my forehead.
That was spoken like you listen to a lot of self-help books. But so
I
here's
was
the
just
thing.
quoting you.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Yes.
But here's the thing, right? When I'm in an Uber, for example, when I'm in the gym, for example, right? Those would be two, and on an aeroplane. Those are three examples of where I want to be antisocial. I do not want to talk to the person next to me, behind me, or
Except for all them hot chicks.
ask me
hitting
for
you up.
what wine would you like, and red or white, whatever, right? But and an Uber don't even just the destination is fine, the air temperature right. When I go to a bar though, like I was at a bar on Friday, I had a good old conversation with the waiter. And because I'm in a place that's sociable, it's a social gathering. When I go to Fiddler's, for example, there are people that I meet that are total strangers.
Yeah, but he was at a butcher shop. He's walking in. It behooves him, I think, to socially lubricate that interaction between him and the butcher, because then you want to gain a level of some kind of trust if this dude's recommending like whatever fucking meat, or if you want to find a place that you're more comfortable with going to. And that's what I think he was doing in a completely appropriate way. And this guy just fucking hits him.
I thought it was fantastic.
I do.
Let me hit you for a 6. Would you talk to the teller when you're checking out?
Yeah, usually.
How did it feel though? So I'm interested in how it happened. Like right after he said it, did he keep staring at you? Was he walking away?
He kind of, he was
like, was
pacing.
he locked in eye contact? Like,
no,
I'm really trying to deal with expectations of people and inflation affecting me.
He was kind of pacing back and forth, organizing shit, moving trays. So he went back to his job, and I said it, and he turned and mentioned it to me, not direct eye contact, but kind of like and then like a little laugh at the end, and turned and kept going about his
And did
business.
you just type it up immediately?
No, I fucking thought about it for like 2 days. I was
simmered
like,
on
what
this
the
shit.
fuck's going like?
What I always want to do is be able to fucking hit him back. And I work on that too, and I'm not quite there. It happened at Turchy on Park Avenue during the art festival, where a waitress, no, it was I think were you with us? No, it was AJ. So it was Joe. So we were there, and a young girl walked up and said, like, she goes, well, just so you guys know, more people are dining here, like as they're leaving, like implying that we were super loud. And I sat there like, the fucking balls on this bitch coming up here and saying this shit. We're in an outdoor restaurant during art festival weekend. There's fucking shit going on all over the place. It's way louder than us. And we also don't have a screaming child here. Like, we should be the heroes of this place. And she's like, she came up and was so rude. I wanted to fucking hit her back so bad, and I didn't think of anything cool to say until like well after she left. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't let us disturb your beautiful dinner paid for by your father. Like something where I could fucking hit her back, but I've never been clever enough yet. I've never had the opportunity to be smart enough.
Revenge is a dish best served cold.
Yeah.
Go back and take care of business, evil one.
I'm trying to think of another one. Another example of driving. When we were looking for houses years ago, we're driving through Audubon, and this old fucking guy like runs up in the middle of the road, Winter Park Drive, flagging us down. I'm like, dude, is this guy having a heart attack? Did he just murder his family? And he like comes over to the window. He's like, this is a residential neighborhood. I'm like, dude, I'm in a fucking Mini Cooper, and I don't even think I'm going the speed limit. And I thinking back, dude, I was like, God, I wish I had something to hit him back with. So I've been more neurotic and more negative in looking at somebody thinking, are they going to come to me with some negative shit? And if so, how am I going to hit them back? That's how I'm living my life now.
So I'm terrible with judging people. I look at people and I work out whether they are somebody that I want to talk to. Mm-hmm. And so I'm terrible with that. So the one time I was in a taxi cab in New York, and my rule is never to talk to them, right?
You're leaving a strip club.
So here's the thing. No, I'm with my family. So I've got my son and my wife and myself. We're in the cab, and my son, who's 7 years old at the time, has a set of golf clubs in the boot of the yellow cab. And the taxi driver says, "Oh, you play golf? So I'm gonna try not to be terribly racist here, but the guy was Japanese, and
I expected that to go a completely different
too.
direction, racially.
No, let me tell you why I was judging him.
One
because
nationality that has not that much negative shit to say.
No. So the reason why I was saying that is because I was judging him as not knowing anything about golf. Right, because I watch the PGA, and there's
some good Japanese golfers.
There are no Japanese golfers on the PGA on the tournaments that I watch. So, anyways, I'm this guy says to my son who's 7, say, do you play golf? And my son listen, and I'm kind of answering, right, because he's speaking to a 7-year-old, so I'm kind of responding, and I'm looking at my wife saying, what does he know about golf? I'm saying to my wife, kind of whispering to her. And then, and he's saying, you're going to be playing any golf in New York. And I'm like, nah, whatever. And he's making a few recommendations of golf course. I'm thinking, goodness me, this guy has no clue about golf. Anyways, we get off the car at the hotel, and he says to us, all the shafts on these golf courses, on these golf clubs, are made by Fujikura, and he gives my son a little like a brooch thing,
Lapel pin.
a lapel pin.
Got it.
And he says, "Here you go," and congratulations. Says to my son, "Keep up with your golf," and then the guy drives off, and so I look at, I said, "What the fuck is Fujikura?" And my son, who's 7, says, "Dad, Fujikura is the company that makes all golf shafts."
That's what he told you in the story. You think he was lying?
He said, no, I know. He said that, but I didn't pick up what he was saying because he was saying it in a bit of an accent, and I was being disrespectful.
This is a very racist story.
I was
you're getting worse through the story.
But I was being very disrespectful because I judged him as not knowing anything about golf. And, I was the authority on golf. And my 7-year-old corrected me and said that, Fujikura. And I was like, you know what? I should speak to taxi drivers going forward. I really should.
Why did you turn your Uber thing on silent?
No, because I have another story about another occasion.
Please no.
Where immediately
no more, please. No more about the golf course.
No, not a golf one.
Seriously.
But a recommendation for a restaurant from a taxi driver.
Right.
And that was just the worst recommendation.
And it was Rick Michelin, and you just
No.
Michelin told you about the Michelin guide?
No, it was a restaurant that only taxi drivers go to. And here I was, I'm like, I was taking my family because I was told, listen, you need to talk to the taxi drivers because they really, know everything about the city. I took one recommendation. I went to the complete wrong restaurant, which is where they're like, a plate for $5 kind of thing.
How do we get here? I need to know how we got to this fucking point, man. I am fucking off the reservation right now.
Yeah.
This is painful. I don't know how we got to this point.
At some point, I was trying
Good God.
I was trying to remember the juncture to inject that I like to. So you said you were always looking to have like a comeback or a smack, right?
I'd like to be clever enough to do it.
Recently, like since the sobriety and exercise have attempted to change my approach and think about all the things that could make me excited about a scenario. A huge imagination, like what if I said hi to this person and these awesome things happened, instead of concentrating on like how am I going to fucking beat this person down. And to play into PR's
novelization of his taxi ride.
Well, no, I mean, but being positive about any scenario that pops up, I think that makes me happier, and I think more amazing things come out of that than if you're always worried about getting shot or hit or punched. You're probably going to attract that energy.
Yeah, I mean, I was joking about constantly being negative, but I would like to have the ability to be clever enough to fucking hit them back.
I always have the regret after somebody fires shots that I didn't, and I think about it, and in my mind, I'm working through some pretty funny stuff that makes me feel better. I'm happy that I didn't think about those things in that moment. Because when I play that game, I fucking decimate people.
I mean, I have one for that guy. That would have been great.
Make me feel good.
He goes, "Oh, inflation. I'm really sick of having to manage people's expectation for inflation doing them well. We can't all make the salary of a butcher, so I apologize. Like, give me a fucking break."
My retort wouldn't be a witty jab. It would just be like, all right, you fat fuck, what the fuck are you doing behind a fucking counter? Like, how much fucking money are you making?
Yeah. I mean, and that was my response to the old man who flagged me down. As I looked at him, I go, dude, calm down. You're like 150 years old. Like, you're going to have a fucking heart attack. Like, that was all I had. And it probably was not that eloquent when I did.
So is that what you said?
Oh yeah. I go, dude, you're like 150 years old. I think what I said was, you're like 150 years old. If I was a maniac, I could murder you for doing this right now. Like, you need to chill out. And then I drove away. I
got a fun story. Remind me if I've said it before.
Hit me.
It was during quarantine. Gym was closed. I decided to start riding my bicycle around Lake Baldwin. And I would blast, man. As I built up my endurance, I would go faster and faster. And this one Sunday, I'm going around. I think I'm very situationally aware and polite on the path. I get pretty perturbed when people are walking fucking 4x4 and blocking the entire deal.
It's inexcusable.
So minding my own business, riding around, listening to books, listening to music, and kind of I'm off in the ether, and some guy, as I approach this unit, like steps aggressively towards me and does this huge hand clap in front of his face. And I'm like, and so I'm going, at 15 miles per hour or something like that. And I keep going. And I'm like, that was odd. And it took me out of my zone, and it made me, I was like thinking about it. Come back. It's a 2.5 mile lap. And I used to do 5-6 laps. Come back around, and he does it again.
Oh, shit.
And that's when I lost my cool and skidded my bike to a stop, parked it off to the side, and looked at him. And I go, like, what the fuck? What's the deal, man?
You're like,
and he's like,
you're
getting too close to my kids, and I don't like it. And the only thing I could think, because we were in the middle of COVID, was I looked at him, I pointed, and I go, I hope you don't die of COVID, man.
And then funny story, he died of COVID.
Well, I always wanted to check
on
up
his
on
deathbed.
him.
He's like, that fucking guy.
I always wanted to check up and see, if he passed away from COVID.
I mean, what if he dies of COVID in 20 years? Do you think he's still going to think it was you? That
superstitiously, it is my fault.
That he's like,
Totally
that guy on the trail.
Oh!
I love it. That's a fucking great story, man.
Well...
And no, you've never told me. Were you rocking the blue bike?
Oh no, my giant beach cruiser with huge fat tires.
Oh yes, I do.
Yeah.
I recall. I mean, I remember meeting up with you guys on bicycles one time and hanging out at some bar that used to exist in a warehouse.
Yeah, it was Deadly Sins Brewery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I remember the bike. It had fat tires.
Yeah,
so I do recall.
It's the bike that scared him.
Yeah,
it made him feel insignificant.
I don't know, dude. I think you're pretty scary out of context.
Yeah.
So
tried to create small talk with a guy at the gym today. Seen him there a bunch. So Sundays are now my easy day. I just go in and walk and
hang out.
Figured I could say hi to somebody I've never said hi to. So this guy had gotten a pretty significant haircut, and I was like, in my mind thinking, I was like, oh, haircut, I'm into hair.
Yeah,
I could say something. So I walk up to him, and I point at him, and I was like, haircut, like, you got your haircut. And he has his headphones on, and he takes them off and acts all startled, and he's like, what? And I go, you got your haircut? And he goes, oh man, I thought you were coming up to yell at me and flip me off. And I'm like, what?
I mean, you have a look, dude. You can't deny that shit.
Well, I was going in for small talk, and this guy thought I was gonna verbally berate him.
I mean, yeah, you got to look, and I think, and if you've never talked to the guy at the gym, and but from now on he'll be cool.
Yeah, the rest of the conversation was absolutely 100% awkward.
There are a few people in my gym that have Trevor's look. They are not the people that you go up to.
I mean, you go to high class places.
Hello,
PR,
how are you? Or if that guy comes up to you, you got to beware.
No, PR is at the gym, and he just has the reputation where everybody's like, "Oh, he's the ladies' man." All the ladies at the gym love him.
But Trevor's got a look. He's tattooed. You got some sort of muscular physique with a big beard. I mean, gee whiz. You're not kind of the. If Nick comes up to you, you're not going to be worried. You're like, hey, what's going on, bro?
No, people come up to me and ask me like accounting questions.
Yes,
and
exactly.
Nerd shit.
You're the accountant.
Where is there a video game store around here? Fuck, you think I do like video games? Right down the street. Take a left. Yeah.
But Trevor,
I get asked for fucking directions. All the people stop me while I'm running. I'm like, I just have this nerd, non-threatening look. Yeah. Like, I do not look like a threat in any way.
Whereas Trevor, if he walks up to the weights machine, if I'm working on it, I'll just leave it. Yeah, you go. You can have them.
Well, thank you. The rest of the conversation was in sentence fragments and very awkward.
Yeah. While you guys were wailing your pecs.
Yeah.
Like, just like
grunting.
Grunting and like, oh, God, did you see White Lotus? Oh, so good.
I think you could change the stereotype, though. You could start, every morning that you get into the gym, just kind of, everyone's got a stereotype about people with a tattoo.
I'm imagining myself walk through
around.
the door.
Yeah.
Hey, everybody!
Everybody!
No,
Trevor is
you
here.
just walk up and you go, hey, Hey, everybody, let's get a good workout in. Jim, Betty, Joan, Amanda. Yes, I see you over there.
Hey.
Whale them.
Hey, John, you need to work harder, bud.
Yeah. Put a little stank on it.
Yeah. I think
Hey, I'm gonna do that this next
Yeah.
week sometime.
Yeah.
Especially early in the morning.
Yeah, dude.
You would do.
just to see what people will do.
Yeah. You would do everyone with your kind of look, and you would change everyone's appeal. You would have to change that cap though, because that cap is very descriptive of you,
Thank you.
which says "Go fast, don't die."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty rad.
Thank you.
I
I
like
like
it.
that.
New
Is it new?
new signature hat. Yes.
I like it. It's a pretty cool signature to have, bro.
What do you have written down over there, sir?
Oh, I was just checking out because I was checking out the time, so I'm preparing myself for the next possible segment.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
Let's check the time. Yeah. Hey, it's about that time
What time is it?
for mother licking Funkler Nuggets.
Our 50th Motherfunkler
Hey,
Funkler Nuggets.
congratulations on the 5-0.
I know, right? So first, I guess we should talk about that. Congrats, you guys. 50 is a big number, man.
I'm gonna have a glass of wine all by myself.
I mean, we
With
did,
I'm the only one having alcohol. Yeah, can you believe?
no,
it?
we had shots of Jaeger.
Yeah, I
my
know,
friend.
but I mean, right now,
Ed's got a beer.
I'm the only one. And Ed,
There you
cheers, Ed.
Oh, and Ed over here.
Oh, fucking
This,
Ed.
this schlub.
God, this
Cheers.
guy today. Jeez. So, I mean, I guess that could be the first thing of Funkler Nuggets. I mean, we've had 50. It's pretty rad. And our producer tells us we're halfway to that magic number of podcasts to get to 100. So we're just going to keep hacking away, man.
The milestone, the synergy that's been created.
Oh, God.
My.
It's giving me a synergistic boner right now. So, I mean, I did some rad shit. As I think I mentioned at the end of last show, we went to Cadence for a hand roll making class right after the show. I mean, I can't say enough good things
So
about Cadence.
was it not sushi generally, just hand rolls?
So what it was like a hand roll making course, but all they did was like give you the seaweed and they go, all right, here's how you do it. And then they just give you a buffet of beautiful, delicious sushi where you can just pick what you want in your
Oh, nice.
hand roll.
So is it a bait and switch where they are telling you it's going to be a sushi class just to get you in there to eat for a higher price?
I mean, it was the price you had to pay before you even went.
Right.
So I was happy about it. I'm like, I don't need all this instruction. I just want to eat some fucking.
Is it the
Cadence
same
sushi.
price as their regular meal?
So they show us how they made it, and they gave us like their fresh rice, which is sushi grade rice. It's delicious. Gave us a bowl of that, a bunch of different fish, shrimp, tuna, sea urchin, like anything you could think of, all the fillers, and you just sat there and made the rolls. Phenomenal.
And then could you eat them after that? Was that for
Yeah,
you
then
to
we
eat?
ate them. Yeah, you make them, you make it, and then you continually eat as you were going until you were full. And their section they gave you could take it back. And I made some onigiris for lunches for the rest of the week. So that was rad last week. I had to testify in court this week on behalf of on behalf of a person who used to come to trivia many years ago to Harp and Celt. He's British. He was married, so he got a green card for being married, and they got divorced. The government's trying to fucking take it away. So they called me as a witness to testify that they came to trivia together between 2011 and 2014. It was fucking wild.
The 6 degrees of trivia.
I know. I'm sitting there
Nick
like
Sedul's trivia.
all these other people from his that I knew him from the team were coming in. I hadn't seen him in many years. So
Wait, so was he
entertaining.
was he in the courtroom?
Oh yeah.
Did you look at him?
Oh, yeah.
Awkwardly and creepy and
I was like, hey, what's up? So, I mean, we were friends for that time period. I got him a trivia show at one point. So, we were cool, but
Yeah, you were
haven't seen him.
testifying on his behalf anyway.
Correct. Like, I mean, basically, I was like, yeah, I mean, we were kind of friends for 4 years, but honestly, I'm just here to tell you the truth. And he was there with his wife. So, if they were faking this wedding,
Look legit.
she went to trivia for 3 years with him on Tuesday nights. So that's some dedication to the lie, I guess, if that's how you want to put it. They postponed it because of a paperwork error, but I think he's gonna be all good.
Hey, curious, real quick. In that case, if everything goes away, is he still out? Like, attorney's fees and shit like
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Or can he?
If
can
everything goes away, if he wins, he loses.
he's still paying a shit ton
all
of
of
money
it's
to
gone.
handle it.
Mhm.
No, like he still has to pay money to,
Oh yeah,
and he doesn't get compensated.
correct.
That
Yeah.
sucks ass.
If he fights it and wins, he doesn't get recompensated.
that's what
from
I'm
the
saying.
government. Nope,
Yeah, and
absolutely
you can't.
not.
Can you counter or anything?
So actually, there may be attorney fee kickers where the attorney could then try to get his fees,
But probably
and then
not worth
reimburse
it.
it, but probably
Yeah.
not.
Oh, interesting.
Most likely not.
Poor guy.
I know, and he's a nice guy, British guy. We saw the movie Sinners.
Oh, don't. Amanda and I are going
All right,
tonight or
we
tomorrow.
won't talk about it, but it's awesome.
I hear it's rad.
So that's all I'll tell you. It earned its fucking Rotten Tomato score.
98%. I
It
saw
is
the other day.
fucking very good.
Okay.
We went to Winter Park where we had great seats. We had a little snack before. It was high. I won't talk about any of the plot. I will tell you that fucking movie is excellent.
I'm gonna go talk to my butcher friend about a fillet.
There you go.
Cook the fillet and then go see Sinners tonight, maybe tomorrow.
There you go. I mentioned I went to Tanqueray's last night, but what I didn't mention is that next door to Tanqueray's, they have a dispensary, and it's just you walk in and there's fucking weed there for sale, which I did not think was legal. It's crazy to me.
It's probably a certain. So they have.
They told me, I Googled it. It looks fucking legit. I didn't sit there and smoke weed, but they sell drops of THCA that they put in like a non-alcoholic beer for you. And my friend, the big fat piece of shit, he like took, a squeegee and just poured it into his drink. I was like, what's the smallest? They were like 2.5. I go, listen, take a 2.5 dropper and just do one little tiny drop for me. I was fucked up the
You
whole
got Stony
night.
Baloney?
Dude, I just don't have a tolerance for this shit. Like I watched him. It was one baby drop and I was fucking smoked the whole night. And I was having a blast. It was great. I was like, this is great. Like I barely have been drinking, so I know I won't feel like shit tomorrow. And I feel great all day, but then after 3 hours, it like fucking turned. And I was like, I got to go home right now. This is bad news. So highly recommend. They were super nice. It's reasonably priced. They had like board games set up and shit. Beautiful venue. That place was cool if you're into that kind of thing. For me, my tolerance just can't take it. So, and then Tanks, we saw a band called Any Which, like a witch, Any Which Way. And they were really, really good. They had a lead saxophone player, which I dig always. So I guess those are my Funkler Nuggets. It's pretty fucking rad. I did go to Christner's to watch the NFL draft, but I do that every year just as a matter of course, and it was also awesome. And we've talked about Christner's a million times.
What's on
About
your
you,
docket?
PR?
So yeah, from last week, because the Intuitive Muse and Ed went to Imperial and gave a rather indifferent review.
Yeah, you've been foreshadowing. Tell us about your visit.
So I thought, hey, I'm going to go and try it out. I was pleasantly surprised. I like the venue. So really well decked. The decor is really good. I think the location is fantastic, on Park Avenue overlooking Central Park. So from that point of view, they've got a lot of that old kind of antique decor. And the service was exceptional. So I was there early though. So, it wasn't terribly busy when I started. But, they have a number of servers around. So it's very well staffed. And they only have beer and wine. I enjoyed the wine selection. I thought the price of the wine was very good.
Are they in talks to get a liquor license,
Yeah.
or are they just not doing it?
Yeah.
All
They mention a few weeks.
Okay.
But my inside information has it more than a few weeks.
Yeah.
Probably a few months. But the wine was really good. And what I liked about it is on Park Avenue is the prices of the wine were very good. So we had a Spanish white wine, $60, which is
Sounds
really
reasonable
par
for
the
a
course.
bar.
Yeah. So what was I disappointed with? And it's certainly not reason for me not to go back. Disappointed with one. The charcuterie board was below average.
And
and
everybody
that's saying
has to take
something.
a shot now.
The charcuterie board was below average because
Is it every time he says charcuterie?
Yeah.
So that's 2 shots now?
2 shots. So
Okay,
far.
so I won't say it again.
No, get them fucked up, man.
But-
They're listening for a reason. It's entertaining.
But what I can say is that when you mention the board, it's got to have it's got to have a few meats. You know, the meats is got to sing. You know, it's not the strawberries and the grapes.
Yeah.
And you know the kind of the stuff that makes the thing look beautiful. No, it's got to be the meat. And I thought they really, and it was not a cheap.
I like my
board.
charcuterie board to be like an adult Lunchable.
So I
like
was
a cracker,
yeah.
a piece of meat, a piece of cheese. Eat it.
Yeah,
Like a
the
Lunchable.
cheese was good.
You know what I'm talking about?
So they had enough cheese on the board, no problem with that. But the meats they were definitely very thin on. So disappointing. The second thing that was disappointing is the age demographic. I was the youngest person in the room.
Oh.
Welcome to fucking Winter Park.
I mean, you
man.
are on Park Avenue, yeah.
And that says something. And you know, I did text Paul Twyford, who's one of the people involved in the Imperial, and you know, he said that's something that they're hoping to kind of work on. But it was interesting because I was there on a Friday at 5:00. Maybe.
I mean, the city actively is trying to perpetuate that. Like they're actively trying to keep young people out and old people in.
And I mean, let's just say that between the three of us, you know, we're not young, right? We are
Don't
kind of
fucking lump me in with
we
the
are-
same age
we are-
bracket as you, bro.
No, we're not.
You were driving a car
no
before I was born.
Yeah.
So
we're not in the 30s. We are you guys in your 40s and I'm in my late 50s,
Yeah.
right? And to go to a place on Park Avenue where, you know, the average age I would say was 70. You know,
that is kind of old.
it is a bar as
even
well.
for Park Ave.
I would
It's
say that the Imperial in Ivanhoe is also attracts
I
an
agree.
older crowd.
I
Oh,
agree
is
with
it?
that.
Oh,
I
okay.
agree with that.
And I think that's with intent because that older crowd is the crowd that has enough money to buy the
A
expensive
$5,000
shit that-
driftwood dresser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's job well done on getting people with money in to buy
Yeah.
some.
I mean, I tend to agree. Sanford was always younger.
yeah.
I could tell you that. Like, well, I mean, I'd only been there twice, but the 2 times I was at the Imperial that was in Sanford, it was a younger crowd, I
Yeah.
think.
And Sanford's
And
closed
it closed.
now
Closed.
So, I mean,
because
I
that
tend
crowd
to
doesn't
agree.
have money.
But I mean, also, though, that is Park Ave. Like, the wine room is mostly older, at least older than my demographic. I'd say late 50s, early 60s,
Yeah.
typically.
Yeah, this was probably a good 10 years
I mean,
older
you
than the
have
wine
to
room.
kind of be older to afford the shit that's on Park Avenue a lot of the times, you know?
Yeah, I wish that they would. So the only 2 things I would say is up your game on the board,
Mm-hmm.
and also we need to go there more often. I think, you know, I have a meeting there next week, and then we are going to do a podcast there. And
Oh, yeah?
I think that's going to
All right.
help with the age demographic.
I'll give the charcuterie board my own stamp.
I like the
See.
food options though. I believe they have a great Sunday brunch. I looked
Ooh,
at the menu.
all right.
The menu looks great, so I'm looking forward to it.
What about you, my man?
I ordered some supplements off Amazon. Went to the gym. Sinners is really the only thing that I went to. I sat outside the Rev last night.
Oh, yeah?
Got off work. Didn't have anything to do today. Amanda and our friend were out, and just walked over and.
Do you dig on oysters?
Yeah, but not right now.
Okay. No, not right now?
No,
Well, is that part of your...
it's not part of my. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just asking because the Rev has oysters, and I am interested how close it is to my house to see if they're any good.
Got it.
I mean, right now, I'd say going... Oh, we got
I've had
input?
them. Their selection is pretty good.
Yeah?
West Coast, East Coast oysters, different levels of salinity, so I did enjoy it.
Mhm.
That's probably the only thing I would order there. So
Oh,
a beer
really?
and then like a dozen oysters.
Wow.
The rest
okay.
of the stuff was just
Meh?
The
Like,
best-
did you have the pho?
no.
Okay.
The best
Ramen?
oysters
Ramen?
I've ever had, you know, absolutely, and you were with me, was at the Real Fish.
Real fish.
They have a happy hour, and the oysters on there, I must say they were exceptional.
Dude, ABO has good oysters, I think. And then fucking Otto's is excellent. I love Otto's. But the problem with Otto's is that if you make a reservation for 2, they always stick you in these 2 shitty fucking garbage tables in the front that I refuse to sit in. So what I do is I make the reservation for 3 and then just tell them that the other person didn't show up once we get seated. Yeah. But or luckily I haven't had to pull the trick, because both times we've gone since I realized how terrible those front seats are, is that we sit at the bar, which is hands down the best
DBA
experience.
has on Thursdays Oyster Happy Hour.
I haven't
Only
had those
on Thursday,
yet.
though. And
I mean, we've ranted about DBA. DBA is a fucking treasure. It's attached to the Strand. Every little snack that they've had that I've had at DBA, fucking hands down, excellent. So excited to try those oysters as well.
All right, let's wrap this sucker up.
Happy 50th,
Happy 50,
man.
guys.
Hopefully we can make it another 50, bro.
Yeah.
You
Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me, the Prince of Misery.
I mean, it's been my displeasure.
Pragasen, thank you so much for
I will
trucking
continue
through.
to be the guy that sees the best in everything.
And our punching bag.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Intuitive Muse. Let's see here. If you haven't already, please hit like and subscribe. Connect with us on social media. If you see a picture of us on the gram, that means we're there. We're live. Come by and say hi. We'll buy you an oyster or a shot.
Speaking of the gram, please nominate and vote for our podcast.
Yeah.
Best of Orlando.
And our businesses.
And for Atomic Barber Company for Best of Orlando, and for Allstate Pragasen. You might as well not waste your time with me, although I appreciate the nomination. Personal injury law is dominated by people who have a lot more ability to get votes.
But do nominate Nick Sadul Law.
Legal services, Bartleby. You could do that.
Bartleby.
Yeah, you could do that for my jury consultation service. And for best trivia show, you could do that as well for Fiddler's Green. If I ever actively tried to get those votes, it would have to win. There's no trivia show with 150 fucking people every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So, but I don't do it because, it's kind of nerd shit.
Yep.
But anyway, just wanted to pop in with that.
All right. Go fast. Don't die.
You got it, man. See you in the promised
Happy
land.
50th. Woo.